Yes, good morning. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Psycho's Platters, always powered by coffee each and every time. I know it's very rare to do a Sunday morning show, but I figure what the hell, it's my show. I can do whatever I want most of the time. Right? Right. Hopefully, everybody is getting their morning job or whatever morning beverage choice they happen to have. I don't know. I've got some things all planned out here. Maybe hour to hour and a half show at the most. But I hope everybody's doing real good. It's supposed to get to be about 80 degrees here, and I don't know. They're calling for rain later, but I don't see it right now. Maybe they changed it. That'd be kind of nice. At least I think so, anyway. Yes, that's right, Fred from Vinyl Gorilla Records. Sunday morning coming down. A very excellent Johnny Cash song, for that matter. But that's exactly what I was thinking of too. I think I titled one of my episodes of that when I did a Sunday morning show. How you doing, Fred? How you doing? To the half a dozen people that are already here already. This time I kind of made the title a little bit more obvious for today's show. I've been doing a lot of tribute videos lately, obviously, but well, we started to have a lot more musicians dying left and right, and I'm like, can't forget these people, So the title, Getting Me to the World on Time, Light Years Later. Rest in peace, James Lowe and Terry Draper. Hey, you moved to Arkansas. You moved to North Little Rock, Arkansas, Ruth Ann from Cali, huh? Yay. Now maybe when you're all settled in, maybe somehow we can meet halfway Fort Smith or some shit and go torture ourselves. That'd be fun. Ivan, right now, been a long time. How you doing over there? How you doing over there in Europe? Hopefully doing just fine. This is nice. This is really nice. I've only been on 2 minutes and we're already boom, 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 boom. This is beautiful. Fred, yes. Ruthie, Fred. Zeb. Zeb's in the house too, also from Europe. How you doing? XP points. Yes, go and have some XP points. Would love that. Yes, I think Fort Smith would be an interesting, in-betweener. It's not too much of a drive for you, and it's not too much for a drive for me either. And there's fun things to do in Fort Smith. Zebulon, that's right. Marcus, good morning. Spring is here with my tulips. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, how does that go again? It's better to have tulips on your organ than I can't remember how that goes. I'm still working on my first cup. Oh, jeez. Metal Haven, hey, how are you doing, Julian, over in Germany? I hope everything's going good. Been a while since I've seen you too. Yes. See, we're all international this morning. Nothing wrong with that, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing wrong with that. So, like I said, this is basically going to be tributes and such, and for today anyway, of two musicians. I'll also throw the invite if anybody wants to come on up and play along. That would be nice, but not a requirement, of course. Not a requirement. I thought I would do an early show because I may go do something later today, and I figured, what the heck, I like doing morning shows when I can do morning shows. You know what I'm saying? There used to be some other guy or some other person, excuse me. Well, there were several. There's some guy that goes off and does morning shows twice a week, and then there was this other person out of Canada that would do morning shows almost 7 days a week. Of course, I'm not that person. Here's a Jeopardy question: who is Terry Draper? Well, we'll be talking about. Oh man, did I go off and screw that up? Hang on a second. I can fix. Let's see. There we go. That should fix. I hate that when that happens. There we go. Draper. Damn it, now it's got 2 R's. Fuck it, I'm not changing it again. Yeah, that's it. What's better than roses on a piano, tulips on my organ? Thank you. See, I knew. I went cart before the horse on that joke. But that is always fun. Just been a little while. Yes. The Ghost will be live this morning. Yeah, now that I'm on, I can see that. But I don't know. Does it really matter? On all honesty, I mean, does it? It doesn't. My show. I mean, does my show matter? It doesn't really matter, does it? Who shows matter exactly? It's just being able to do them and put them out there for the entertainment value. That's all it ever was for me, anyway. You're the only one that cares about that stupid show, Ivan. Now, be nice. Be nice to Ivan, Fred. Be nice. Ivan's a good guy. And you know what? It doesn't. Like I said, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. It really doesn't. It's all a numbers game and such. I still like this camera, even if it does do its own little personal in and out feature. But I'd rather have that than the aquarium look, like some of the other some of the other people's channels. That's all right. They'll get there. They'll get there. And like I said, I only was 20, 25, 26 for the camera. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. That's right. There's peace in the valley where the green giant lives. You know how, of course, the green giant crops. He just pisses all over them. That's how you get that special green giant flavor. Are you shaving for long hair, psychos? Actually, I'm probably due for a haircut, to be honest with you. But I don't know. Maybe I'll get that in a couple weeks. Big giant Canadian guy dressed up like a woman speaking in falsetto for 3 hours. Come on, Ivan, you can do better. Anyways. So let's see. So we'll basically do some tributing type stuff. I do want to thank people watching the last couple episodes, of course, and we got almost 400 views on the Rick Derringer tribute. I thought that was really good. I thought we tried to do justice for Rick, because Rick was an all around guy who seemed like a very cool dude who obviously knew how to play. That's for sure. And then the last episode we did. We were what were we talking about on the last episode? There's been too many deaths already. Like I said, we're comboing 2 deaths here. Hey, how you doing, Randy? Good to see you. Good to see you. And Frida, and Freno, and Ruthan, and Zeb, and Morning Randall, and God Mode, the Tribal Chief. Oh, I know who this is. The reigning defending champ, undisputed Universal Champion is here. How you doing, Benji? And if you notice the emoji, this avatar here, who is the wise man in that avatar? It's me in a Walmart. The things you could do nowadays with computer stuff. Deadwax, howdy. Hey, Randy. So, get me to the world on time, light years later. First one that we're going to talk about, and this one basically for me was announced the next morning. So Friday morning is when I got the alert for this one. And I actually communicated briefly with James Lowe from the Electric Prunes. I don't know. Eventually, we'll start doing some interviews. He was one of them. So was Terry Draper, believe it or not. I got to briefly yap with Terry Draper, the real Terry Draper. Because if you remember, ladies and gentlemen, we used to have a guy who would come on here as Terry Draper, and I found out afterwards, of course, it wasn't the real Terry Draper. I kind of figured that, but I found out the true identity of that Terry Draper, who I'm not going to mention. What is this crown? Okay, Randy. So supposedly, maybe it's YouTube doing this. I have no idea. Just like Eddie says, I never constructed a leaderboard. This is whatever YouTube is doing. Okay, so it has to do with like engagement and comments, audience engagement or some crap like that. I don't know. Just don't worry about it. Fool of the Day, Dead Wax. That sounds like an album title, Fool of the Day. Not King of the Day, not Queen of the Day, but how do I win, Zeb? Well, let's see. You have to cut out a few box tops, go off and Alex Chilton not included, and send them to Psycho's Platters, P.O. Box 6969, Northwest Arkansas. I don't know. Oh, man. Seems you are in competition with Eddie. Well, remember, kids, keep it clean, and no hitting above the belt, below the belt, something like that. I don't give a shit. All right. What? I don't know, Eddie. Just be a good sport and roll with this. I have no clue myself because I don't get to see what this leaderboard looks like. And you know what's really funny is on the replay, I tried to look for it and I couldn't find it. So this has got to be something YouTube must be sticking in. More comments equal a bigger crown. That's what she said. Anyways. James Lowe formed the Sanctions in 1965, which became Jim and the Lords, which then became the Electric Prunes. Quote, it's not attractive, nothing sexy about it, but the people won't forget it. Boy, was he right on that. Of course, Eddie is spammer of the day. Was that better than Spanner? I don't know. I need new tires before I can boogie off anywhere. Completely understand. I'd suggest probably going to Tire Tracks if there's a location over there in NLR. I bet you there is. We'll figure it out. But I'm glad to see that you're here in the state of Arkansas also. Now you can put up with the madness I got to put up with sometimes. Click on the 75 XP next to the top chat above chat. Seems you could gain more. See, okay, this has got to be something that YouTube's got to be doing this. Okay, I'm the one that installed super chats. I don't recall the super sticker function. Okay, so this must be something they just decided to finally do, or maybe I qualified for it. I have no clue. Happy day, Eddie. Physical Media Talk. And by the way, since I've got about almost 25 of you people here, and I said yes, you people, if you care to, kindly give the thumbs up. That's always nice and important. But like I said, at the end of the day, it's all just a numbers game, right? But please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We've had a couple new subscribers, but YouTube hasn't mentioned who the hell they are yet. So I appreciate the new subs as well. Of course, along with my old family and my old gang here. And if inclined, and I do mean if inclined, please donate. All the donations stay in the show, and the money, we do transparency around here. It either is going to go to more coffee for the host, because remember, ladies and gentlemen, Psycho's Planet is always powered by coffee each and every time, or getting cheapy records to be able to talk about and discuss. That's where the money goes. And it goes nowhere else. No $1,000 guitars, no $1,000 amplifiers, whatever the hell. I don't do any of that nonsense. Eddie is number one. Nice if YouTube gave it. I know, right? Terry, I don't get it. It's too weird. You know, you'd think I could handle my own channel, but obviously not. Good, quick morning, Paul. Yeah. Let's see. I had a battered copy of Too Much to Dream. Your new buddy is part wolf, but is he hungry like the wolf? See, that's the thing that's more important. Anyways, this, of course, being their big hit here. Had to play that. So, like James Farley said the other day, don't touch the brown acid unless you love the brown acid, okay? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Too Much to Dream last night. Electric Prunes off that first album. And James Lowe, of course, passed away a couple days ago. Yes, no drinks for me. Yeah, well, gotta pull my Prunes hits LP. Rest in peace. Yes. We're gonna play a couple more pruny type stuff here in a second. James, how you doing? We just got done talking about don't take the brown acid, because that's what you said. So don't take the brown acid today either. I had too much to drink last night. It was prune juice for me. I'm also powered by coffee. That's good girl. That's the way this works. The world goes round to people that drink hot bean juice. That's what it is. That didn't sound right, but it's true. All right. So we went off and we played Too Much to Dream, right? Well, somebody else commented in the comments here. The other one that they're known for, really big, how ahead of the times were the Prunes. Wow. Yeah, no kidding. Like I said, I only ever ended up having a beat up copy of the first album. Their initial run was 66 to 68, and it was 3 albums, if I remember correctly. Happy Sunday, James Farley. Ivan goes off and says. Now, the next one, of course, which is another big one, which somebody just suggested in the chat, which, of course, is part of the title, Get Me to the World on Time. Oh, yeah. Gotta play that, too. That's right. Gotta Get Me to the World on Time. Also from the first album, Electric Prunes, ladies and gentlemen. Bill, everything's pretty cool. And yes, definitely should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. None of the bands that deserve it are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I would probably agree with you about 80%. 80% of what's in that hall shouldn't be in there. There's 20%. Like I'm glad Bad Coat got in, and some of the older artists, you know. I still say, and I don't give a shit what anybody thinks about this, but I think there should always be a write-in ballot feature, okay, for the fans to be able to insert a name or two into the write-in ballot for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and that majority of the write-in votes would go in, okay, for that year, 1 or 2 of them, you know. That would help a little bit, but yeah, it's all corporate bullshit's what it is. All right, Bill, he's also waking up. Bill, here, here's some coffee. You want some coffee? Yeah, my coffee mug here at Country Kings Row store in a town called Marble, Arkansas. Marble, Arkansas, very small town near Prairie Grove, Arkansas. HSHF. Hi, Roseanne. Who decides who gets in? Well, like I said, it used to be the jackass from Rolling Stone magazine, along with, I think there's like a board of 50. One person that did let on that they are in the voting committee is Steve Van Zandt, little Stevie. You know, he's a voting member. We know that much, but as far as for the rest, unsure. Satan is it runs the Rock and Roll Hall of Shame. That's right. So, as I mentioned, James Lowe left in 1968. The band did break up, though, but reunited in the late 1990s. And as Randy went off and said, I think it was in 96, 97, they went off and released the Live in Stockholm 1967 album, which I've heard of but haven't heard yet. Well, then in 2001, even though they were together since 97, 98, yes, Santa runs the, so does Sanka. Him too, yes. Underground LP's real good too, and yeah, I Happen to Love You, Long Day's Flight comes to mind from album. Terry says bands from the 60s still not in, but we have, oh yeah, I know, it's not right. It's not right at all, damn. Yeah, that's the way it should be from the gate. Who cares what they think anyway? We're the only ones that should count. Our voice matters. Yeah, well, that's the way they should have been since, what, 86? I think 86 was the first year for the Rock and Roll Hall of Shame. Single LPs have an original reprise. That's right. And if I remember correctly, they'd be Steamboat reprise, right? For first pressing, at least for the first album. I don't know about the second. I've rarely come across any Steamboat reprises. I did once for a Hendrix, but it was so beat up, it wasn't even funny. So basically, though, 4 original members of the Prunes get back together, and they cut an album in 2001 called Artifact with special guest, and he would end up being on a couple of these Prunes redo, if you will, Peter Lewis from Moby Grape. And so the next track that I happen to bring you is from the 2001 Artifact album, and it's called Lost Dream. See what you guys think about this one. I kind of dig it, and now this is another one probably in the never-ending want list of music. Doesn't it sound a little Tom Petty-ish? There she is. It was the Prunes. The Electric Prunes did. Yeah, maybe later, James. All right. Lost Dream from the 2001 Electric Prunes album, Artifact. There's one for you. I like that one. I'm going to end up having to put that on my never-ending search list. They did a handful of albums in the 2000s and the 2010s. And like I said, Peter Lewis from Moby Grape would guest on a couple of those albums. So basically, though, as James said, can you play the MASH theme for Loretta? We'll maybe do that towards the back end of the show. Of course, Loretta Swit also passed away this week. Hot Lips Houlihan. I love MASH. What were they on? 12 seasons? 11 seasons? 12 seasons? 72 to 83? 11 seasons. I don't know. Needless to say, I watched most of it first thing. Yes, Final Gorilla, and why ain't Tom Jones in? Well, that's not unusual. Oh, I know, not enough coffee. Needless to say, so as we know, James Lowe, of course, being an electric prune was his main priority, but he also happened to be an engineer and a producer also. So as soon as the prunes kind of, ended their thing in about 68, he ends up befriending an interesting gentleman who, of course, is still in music today by the name of Todd Rundgren. Oh, yes. Todd Rundgren, the wizard, a true star indeed. But in this case, James Lowe happens to be, he engineered on all three Nas records. Yes, MASH was a riot, yes. So, of course, we've got to play, and I bring to you, off of the first album, their big hit, which they slightly swiped the beginning from The Who. Yes, we could figure that out. Open my eyes. Don't take. That's right. The first Nas album, Open My Eyes, which of course they slightly swiped at the beginning. The Who's I Can't Explain. Where's the music lawyer? No, I'm kidding. I don't care. Fred says Nas was fun. I have the first three Nas albums on vinyl. I got an original first album Nas. I've got a Rhino reissue. It's a red vinyl for Nas, and then many years ago I had a Rhino reissue for the Nas 3, but I don't know where the hell that's at. That probably disappeared. So I need to get eventually an OG on the 2 and the 3. That would be nice. Well, look at Ruth Ann. She squished her first chigger yesterday. Yuck. Welcome to Arkansas. You're going to have a bunch of chiggers.
You only had one?
Yeah. Brittany here goes, you only had one? Chiggers and ticks. Chiggers and ticks. Yeah. No chiggers in California, huh? It was a bloody mess, that chigger was. Welcome to the country, darling. Here's your first chigger. I said chigger. Anyways, so I told you, James was an engineer and a producer and such. He ended up, my notes here that I wrote, not only was he involved with Todd on and off over the years, he also, met this band named Half Nelson. Yeah, the Rao brothers, the Sparks. I love Sparks. I love me some Sparks. Still looking for an OG of Come On to My House. It was a damn good album. Now I know where Freddie Mercury got his operatic vocals from. That's all right, Freddie. We'll forgive you. But needless to say, I thought I would go off and present here to you from the second Sparks album, a woofer in tweeter's clothing. I love album titles. But this one here, no chiggers in Rhode Island either. Well, yeah, probably because it was too damn cold for a chigger to show up. But I present to you from the second album. I just thought this song just kind of cracked me up a little bit, so I thought I would share this from the second album, Beaver O'Lindy. Yeah, get a load of this. That's right. The second Sparks album, Woofer and Tweeter's Clothing, Beaver O'Lindy. I used to know a girl named Lindy. That's all I'm going to say about that. Anyways, Terry says whippings and apologies. Tony, have to leave for now. Grass cutting time with headphones on, playing electric prunes. Yes, the mower is electric. Cheers. Good to see you here, Tony. Good to see you here. First two Sparks albums are my favorites. I think I'm going to have to add Wolford to the list too. Like I said, though, I need to find a original copy of Kimono. I still love This Town Ain't Big Enough with Two of Us. That's like my favorite off that first one. All right, so that was the tribute to James Lowe, who of course passed away a couple of days ago. Electric Prune and engineer and producer and arranger and all kinds of other stuff. Go play some Prunes on 11 or something like that for yourself later. We get to the second half of the tribute portion of the episode here, which of course is Mr. Terry Draper. Terry Draper, he got his start in the great band from the 70s, Canada, called Klaatu. They're saying there's no intelligent life form down here. Either that or maybe we could kick their ass. I'm not sure. It's one of those two. You always see that in Hollywood when it comes to extraterrestrial stuff. But I could not pass up playing Calling All Occupants. So we're going to go off and do that to start the portion of Terry Draper's tribute. Passed away May 15th at the age of 73.
Points on that shiny red rose. I only need 700 more to buy the gold.
That's right, everybody, from Klaatu's first album, Calling All Occupants of Interplanetary Craft, which I always loved that song ever since I heard that on the radio back when I was like 9 years old. Really good stuff. They are dropping like flies, Chris. Yeah, we talked about Loretta Swit. I'll try to take the MASH theme up before the end of the thing. There should be a back rub day. Yes, well, I can understand about the whole thing, especially when you just get done moving and all that other stuff. Well, if you were closer, I'd volunteer, but not too far away for the moment anyway. But yeah, so I'll try to see if I can pull up that MASH theme maybe before I leave as well. But anyways, I appreciate the close to 20 people here at the moment here on a Sunday morning. That's always well appreciated, no matter what time of the day we try to do one of these shows. One of these days we'll get to actually have a set schedule. I don't know when, but we'll take it for what we can get it, right, ladies and gentlemen? You're right. So we ended up playing, of course, Calling All Occupants. Well, another one that I want to play off of, and this is from the final original lineup, Klaatu, back from 1981's Magenta Lane, which only was released in Canada on Capitol Records. Yeah, that's an injustice right there. They should have released it here, but they didn't. So I'm still looking for an original pressing of that. But they ended up writing a song, or should I say, Terry co-wrote this song like he did with Calling All Occupants. This one here is called December Dream. And this happens to be at least partly about John Lennon, of course, who died so brutally before this album's release. All right. From 1981's Magenta Lane, December Dream, loosely attributed to John Lennon in his horrific passing. James says the first Klaatu album I bought was called Hope. I think that was the second one, right? Second one was Hope, I think. And Fred goes, I was this Klaatu or a lot like Sticks Without the Talent. Oh, that's not right. That ain't right. Yeah, see, I'll probably be doing the same thing too when I get a little bit of money. They both come out in July, so I've got some time. I do want to get the new Sticks and the new Alice Cooper. That's going to be some fun stuff to listen to for the summer. But yeah, that that Build and Destroy song still in my head in the background, right? Yeah. Sometimes when it comes to ear candy, earworms are stuck in there for a couple days before finally something else just takes over the earworm capacity. You see.
Passing past, followed swiftly by your side. My memory is keeping me alive. Light years later, does anyone recall the universal message of this long gone Halloween? It's light years later, but I still hear their song. Goodbye, glass-eyed minstrels, and the poets, they're all gone. Those were the days. A long last golden age. I'll never see another Renaissance. Can you hear me? Can you hear me calling? Oh, I can still remember. And now I've told you all the story of the glory of the fallen. The story of the glory of the fallen. What has happened here?
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, from 1997, light years later, Terry Draper solo, with possible the rest of Klaatubian on that track. He's like a platter guy. Have you ever listened to Spock's Beard or Haku? Now, I've never heard Haku. Spock's Beard I dabbled in, and I've liked some of the stuff that they've gone off from what little I've heard at the moment. There's just so much out there. That's what I love about music. It never ends. The want list never ends. The listening lists never end. The collecting list never ends. But I'm okay with that, and I bet you guys are too out there. So let's see. I just thought of something else that I want to post as well. I think I'm going to go look. It'll be a little bit of fun. I'm going to look up for this one after I play you this last song per se, okay, that I've got queued. So as we mentioned before, Terry Draper, 21 solo albums. That's a lot. That is a lot of solo albums. And the last one that was put out, even though in the video it says 2024, I think the single was put out in late 2024, but the album came out in January 2025. And when I found out that he was going to have this album out, and I went and ordered it, I ordered it signed, so I actually have a signed CD from Terry, of course, before he passed away. And I did communicate with him, maybe a half a dozen times. I even told him about the fake Terry Draper that was going around too, but he didn't say too much about that. But I want to present to you this last track, and like I said, is the title track from his last solo album, simply called Infinity. Hopefully, you guys will enjoy this.
Thought was my brain. I'm stuck in the middle of time. Infinity drives me insane. I can't see the end of the line. And when I wonder, am I still at the center of the universe? And when I travel, I trust that I'm still at the center.
And IBM's new graphics put 256 colors on a screen at once, so our work will be bolder and brighter.
If it'll make him brighter, count me in.
Personal System 2 is faster. Oh, and it has incredible power.
Someone say, power?
It's a miracle. He's following instructions.
Hey, we were made for each other.
Is it easy to use?
Even you could use it.
Can we tie it all together?
Ooh, Personal System 2 has excellent connectivity.
So we can talk to each other?
Only if we have to.
It's just what we need. Who's responsible for this?
Well, IBM.
Introducing the new Personal System 2 family from IBM.
Personally, I've always admired his use of yellow.
His merging of abstract shapes and a multi-hued palette is one of the joys of our time.
Yes, his subtle shading, his sensitivity to the gray spectrum.
A stroke work of a Rembrandt.
It's so thrilling to see the new IBM Personal System 2 in the hands of an old master.
Balderdash.
The new IBM Personal System 2, advancing the art of business.
Hey, my desk.
It's making room for the new computer.
We just got new computers.
I'm talking about a really big computer.
Is this big enough to run mainframe programs?
Piece of cake.
Is it big enough for hundreds of workstations?
Of course.
Wow, for thousands of customer accounts?
No sweat, kid.
Wow, that does sound big. You better not spill your coffee on it.
This is it? Where's the rest of it?
The IBM mid-range, big computers in small packages.
Come in.
And tied into our IBM mid-range computer, you can check calendars, get phone lists, even send instant memos.
Okay, let's see if anyone's awake out there. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck?
If a woodchuck could chuck wood.
I'll need specifics. What size woodchuck? What type wood? I got some ideas on this woodchuck thing. Let's do lunch.
Why wasn't I asked to head up Project Woodchuck? It works.
IBM Office Systems, electronic mail, and a whole lot more.
Uncle Alex, this store's a lot bigger than your old one.
You betcha.
More parts, bigger inventory. Maybe you should get an IBM PS2.
What do you want me to do? Throw out my old PC?
They'll work together.
And my PC software?
It'll run it and a lot faster.
You're kidding. Your capacity. Maybe I should get a PS2.
Congratulations.
You didn't.
I did.
The Personal System 2, part of the bigger picture for your growing business from IBM.
As a business grows, its needs grow.
A little chat?
Especially its need for computing. So IBM, the leader in business solutions, developed the Application System 400.
Let's have a powwow.
It gives you the solutions you need today, and it can grow with you like no other system can. You can upgrade it without having to replace it. Meaning, with the new IBM Application System 400, the money you spend on software, training, and equipment will keep working, no matter how big things get around your plant.
Imagine going to work one day and finding your office like this.
Morning.
Well, it really happened to an IBM customer. A flood put their computer room under tons of water. One call to IBM, and a team of experts dived right in. They worked around the clock, and they got the system up and running in record time. No matter what size your problem or your company. That kind of service is something you should think about, because very often in business, when it rains, it pours.
IBM, the bigger picture.
I got it.
Now people who work at home can get a great deal on an IBM PS2.
The boss will love this.
The affordable PS2 Model 25.
Distribution, of course. Why didn't you think of that?
Get instant credit, a cash rebate, plus a whole lot more.
That was inspired. Aha! Right. I'll sleep on it.
Visit your IBM authorized dealer for details about a special offer on the PS2 Model 25.
Volcano erupts in South Carolina classroom.
Now let's go inside.
IBM is helping teachers teach and bring subjects to life with courseware that helps children learn English, math, science, and more.
Looks hot, but it's cold.
Courseware that complements a teacher's curriculum from kindergarten through high school.
Hi, very good.
Avalanche hits Florida elementary school. This is really something, you know?
You should stick around for the moonwalk.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How about that? Even some of them I never saw before. I think Alan Aldous shows up towards the back end of the whole commercial run, so they kind of played him in order. Yeah, I was kind of surprised about that. Yeah, I heard that too. Well, guys, it's been pretty good. So let's play this one. I hope everybody had themselves a really good time here. We almost got about a good hour and a half on all this, didn't we? I appreciate everybody here being able to take out some of their Sunday morning time to spend with good old Psycho. And I don't know when we'll do another one, maybe Tuesday. We'll shoot for Tuesday, maybe for the next one. Yeah, I know there is not that many left. And it's I'm trying to think, Klinger and Hawkeye. I don't know how many others are left. I guess his Radar's still alive too, I think. Always powered by coffee each and every time, guys. And once again, we'll shoot for Tuesday. Until then, I want everybody to have themselves a great week. Okay, let's try. Let's all do this together. Also, one last thing. Please pray for my granddaughter, Charlotte. She's going to be going into surgery. It's supposed to be outpatient, but she's only 1. That'll be on the 5th of June. And also prayers for my friend Tracy, who on the 4th of June will get to figure out what stage breast cancer that she has and what's going to be the next step on things. But everybody out there, do your best you can in life. And you know what? As long as I'm alive, I'll be doing these things for you guys. Never forget that, and never forget this either, please.
Psycho's Platters is a Love Peace production.